Hello, welcome to TDN Africa Media. What is your name and your designation?
I'm Assistant Commissioner of Police, Bramakama, the Head of Media, Public Relations and Sport, and also the spokesperson for the SLP.
Okay. What's your job like? Please, can you tell us what's your job like to be a police officer?
Well, being a policeman is like you have to serve humanity. It's pretty difficult sometimes, but you have to serve humanity. You know, if you check the Bible, it says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be considered to be the children of God." Or maybe we inherit heaven, as the case may be. And then if you also look at our job description, which has to do with protecting lives and property. So we are like serving humanity. You want to ensure that people live in peace, there is social order, and then people must be able to go about their normal business. So that's your job, that's your responsibility. It could sometimes be difficult to do, but you have to do it because you signed up to it. So that's the situation.
Okay. What are your challenges that you face in Sierra Leone?
Well, those ones are very generic. I don't know whether you specifically referring to the police.
Yes.
On the side of the police, there are challenges when it comes to doing our job. Like, say for example, you want to go after criminals in a very difficult terrain. Like we have these mountainous terrains. Vehicles cannot even go there. And sometimes by the time you reach there, you know, the perpetrators are gone or the offenders are gone. So that becomes very difficult. And then people sometimes think your response time is very slow, not knowing that the terrain will allow us to reach there the time they want us to be there. So that is a challenge. And then secondly, the type of policing we practice is a community-based policing, people-centered. We bring the people into policing. We want them to be involved, we want them to participate, we want them to have a say in policing. So that's community-based policing, people-centered. But sometimes people, for whatever reasons, some people for natural prejudice for the police, some apathy, some ignorance, some just try to be hostile to the police. No matter what you do, they wouldn't want to come very closer to you. And it's difficult for the police to succeed if you don't have the participation of the community members, because they know their terrains, they know their situations, they know what they go through, and they can help us with vital information. And those information we can walk through them and then be able to come up with something good in terms of fighting crime and reducing the fear of crime in society. So for some communities, they are just very hostile to the police. They don't want to work with the police. So that could be a challenge. But that wouldn't stop us from continuing to make the necessary tries, continue to make the necessary advances so that we get them to believe that policing is them as civilians and us as police officers putting on uniform. So we'll continue to work with them, we'll continue to do every other thing to make sure we get the communities very safe. There could also be challenges in terms of resources are never enough. The government is doing everything humanly possible, everything administratively possible to ensure that we get the resources we want. But honestly, you always like to look like getting help from some other people. Like during the restructuring period, we had a lot of donor support in terms of vehicles, in terms of equipment, and some other things. But those ones are coming, but they are not like coming as they were coming before. So that could be a challenge in terms of getting the required equipment, getting every other thing we need. But the little we have, and those ones being provided by government, we are doing our level best to make sure we work within that one. Of recent, government donated to us 17 vehicles. And just last week, what the IGP did, they gave one to Kamakwe and to Makini. They gave to Mongo Division, they gave to Bonth. So that tells you we are ready to do our job. If the resources are there, we'll do our job. But even where they are not 100% available, we make sure we make do with those we have. Because it's like you're in the classroom. If you're in the classroom, they teach you about what you call improvisation. You might not have all the learning materials or the teaching materials, but you have to know how to improvise so that you still continue to transmit or transfer knowledge to the kids. So that's the situation.
Okay, in 5 months' time, we will be having our elections. Can you tell us how prepared is the Sierra Leone police?
Well, we are always prepared, but honestly, this is not the first elections we are having. In 1996, we were part of UN, and we policed that election. 2002, we were also part of that one. Even the UN, they were around, but they were like trying to phase out. We were part of that one. 2007, we were part of that one. In fact, we were fully involved as an institution. And then 2012, 2018. So we know the stakes are high, but the fact remains we have the primary responsibility to maintain law and order. And that is what we're going to do, and we'll continue to do it. But in terms of preparations, we are looking at the aspect of human capacity. How do you capacitate our men to police the elections without favor or without siding with anyone, but just providing the basic things we must provide in the form of protecting lives and property. You know, when you talk about protecting lives and property as regards to elections, you are talking about those who are conducting elections, those who are coming to vote, those who are politicians, party agents, as the case may be. Those ones, you have to protect them. When it comes to property, you're talking about the aspect of protecting the voting materials and so on and so forth. So we know it is our responsibility, and this is why we are planning. Just last week, but before last week, sometime in November last year, we had some guys from the Strategic Capacity Group. They sourced some funds from the United States Embassy, and we were able to put together a curriculum for electoral security and management. I was part of it, and we trained 60 trainers. And just recently, we trained about 120 police officers from different units and departments within the police. So that one will have to continue to capacitate our guys as to how the police elections, because election policing is very specific. Specific in the sense we are there to police elections, and there is a required type of policing people are expecting from you. You know, when it comes to, like, if they have their rallies, what type of policing, how do you police them? So those are the things we are passing over to our personnel. And between now and May, we will have trained something like 14,000 police officers. Everybody is going to benefit from that training, so that we'll all be on the same page. You know, so that's the preparation. And quite apart from that, we are also working with other security sector actors. And we have the military, we have the National Fire Force, we have the Sierra Leone Correctional Service, and we also have the coordinating body, that's ONS. So we are all working together to make sure that come June 24, or even prior to June 24 and after June 24, we're going to make sure we do our level best to provide a level playing field for politicians to play their own game. What is important, they must act within the ambit of the law, because the law is very important. If you don't act within the ambit of the law, this is where some restrictions will come in. Restrictions in the sense that the law says, don't do this, and you don't do it, you can go ahead and do it. But if the law says, don't do this, but you say you are going to do it, then it means you are going against the law. And normally there are sanctions for that, for that one. You could be arrested, you could be detained, you could be processed for court, understand? But we are hoping that everybody is going to be compliant. Everybody, whoever you are, we are hoping that everybody is going to be compliant, so that at the end of the day, the elections will come, the multi-tier elections will come on the 24th of June, and then we'll go about our normal business. So we are preparing for a very big elections, if I should put it that way. It's a very big one. But we've done that before. So we are banking on the experiences we've acquired over the period. And then we just try to see how we can bolster that experience so that we do things the right way.
Okay. What are the measures the Sierra Leone police have put in place in ensuring that we have a peaceful election?
Well, the measures are very straightforward. Provide a level playing field for everybody. We are supposed to be apolitical. We don't support anybody. We prepare the level playing field for all the political parties to do their political thing. But like I said, whatever you do, let it be within the ambit of the law. Say, for example, dates or days are allocated to a political party to do A, B, or C. We just have to allow them to do A, B, or C, and not another party coming to interfere with that A, B, or C of that political party. And when you interfere, it's like you are now infringing on the provisions of the law, as the case may be. And then what do you expect? You expect the police to come in and to normalize the situation. And, but we are hoping that there is nothing like violence, because we want a violence-free election. And then for it to be violence-free, we have to make the decisions ourselves, the people, that we are going into June 24 elections, but we are going to vow that we are going to be compliant with the rules and regulations. We are going to listen to directives, to instructions, and then accordingly and appropriately comply. So those are the things we are expecting from them. So we continue to interface. It's another measure we put in place too. We've opened the corridor of interfacing with them so that when they want to see us or they want to talk to us, there is a conduit. If you go to OPPD, the Operations Planning and Department we have at Morgantown, we have the somebody there who is assigned as the focal person to interface with the election or electoral management bodies, those ones who are involved in the election. So if there are assignments for us or there are things for us, he can bring them and then we discuss them and see how we can put them into effect. So those are all measures we've put in place. And like I said, the aspect of training, capacitating the personnel so that we all speak or we all sing from the same hymnal, be on the same frequency. It's another measure we've put in place. So engagement is also very key. The Community Relations Department, we are tasked to ensure that they continue to engage the public, every facet of society, so that at the end of the day, people see the need to maintain peace during the electionary process. So before the elections, during the elections, and even after elections, the aspect of maintaining the peace.
Okay. In the aspect of maintaining peace, what would you like to tell citizens out there?
I think I have to bank on the aspect of maintaining the peace, because elections, to me, I would say it's an event. It comes and goes. And it is now with us. You know, in the next 5 months, we're going to have elections. But that doesn't mean if we have elections, we must destroy our homes, we must destroy our families, we must separate from each other. No, it shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be the case. I mean, after elections, we have to see each other again. And Sierra Leone will still continue to exist. So why do we have to destroy one another? Why do we have to fight one another? You know, so those are the things we must take into consideration. Those family values, community values, take them on board, and ensure that we have a very peaceful election. I mean, just be very compliant. The whole thing there is you have to be compliant. If you are compliant, even in the home situation, if you are very compliant, you wouldn't have problem with your mother or your father or your aunt or your uncle, as the case may be. Because when they say, go to school and come home by 2 o'clock, you come home by 2 o'clock, nobody's going to have a problem with you. But if you go to school and then you come home by 5, somebody will want to know, where did you spend the other 3 hours? You know, those are the kinds of situations. So we are expecting that everybody will follow the rule. We have PPRC, we have NEC, so everybody will follow the rule. Yeah.
Thank you very much for talking to TDN Africa Media. I am Aminata Kuroma reporting.